Good morning, professional colleagues and all our friends. This is to welcome you to the July edition of the CITN Taxation and You, put together by our institute, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. And it gives me great pleasure to greet all our members, friends of the institute, that you are welcome to another insightful session where we gain knowledge of the things that is happening, that is trending, and that you need to know. I want to first and foremost appreciate you for always showing up every month whenever we have the program. That is every first Thursday of the month is always an insightful time for you to learn. I will want to encourage you to always tune in as we promise you that every month continue to be insightful. But I want to say this, that you are connected already. Have you checked through the list and your friend is not connected? Call him that the train is about to move and we are ready for the July edition of the CITN Taxation and You. Today, we will be talking about taxation and corporate governance in Nigeria. What is the current reality? As you and I understand, it's a dual thing where you pay your tax and we expected certain thing on the part of the government. And we always open up our line in such a way that members can participate by asking questions from our guests. Today, we've gone to bring an erudite scholar who we have prepared. You and I know him in the professional setting and also in the academic setting, a man with vast experience when it comes to taxation. And is no other person than Professor Mahmoud Muhammad Mainoma, MNI, FCTI, a distinguished MNI for the matter. He's a member of the governing council of our great institute and currently the vice chancellor of Prime University, Abuja, FCT. I won't be doing this alone today. I've come together with my co-anchor who will definitely be engaging our guests. Please make welcome Dr. Ayodeji Adeyemi. Ayo, good morning. Great to have you here.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. It promised to be another exciting moment for our members, and we appreciate Prof for giving us his audience despite his busy schedule. Prof, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. You've heard it from my co-anchor. Prof is a very busy person, but he has actually make out time to be part of this program this morning. Prof, great to have you. Good morning. Let our audience hear you, sir.
Good morning. I'm pleased to be here. It is a really joy to join in this endeavor.
Thank you very much. And like I said the other time, our topic of discuss today is taxation and corporate governance in Nigeria. What is the current reality? And I want to state this, that if you have joined us and you've looked around and your friend has not joined, beat them that the train is about to move for us to learn from the wealth of knowledge of our guest this morning. I will be eating the train moving, and I will start like this, Prof. For the benefits of our members and non-members that are not joining, we just want you to give us a brief of what taxation and corporate governance is all about so that we can have the right foundation of the topic of discourse.
Thank you very much, sir. The taxation, like we all know, is a compulsory contribution by citizens and businesses to fund public expenditure by government. It has three major purposes. The first is about revenue generation. That one basic function of taxation is that it generates revenue for government. The second is redistribution of wealth. And the third is regulation of the economy. Redistribution of the wealth in such a way that when you have a system where the people that earn more pay more, and they call it progressive taxation, you find out that the difference between the rich and the poor may not be widening. So that way, those that have more income, they pay more. So it reduces the gap between those that have and those that do not have. And that is why it is called, the purpose is for redistribution of wealth. Then the third is the regulation of the economy. And that purpose is that you find that some commodities are taxed just because they may be harmful to people. So, and some commodities are also taxed just because they are not necessities of life. So because of that, it regulates the level of activities within the economy. There are different types of taxes. The one that is popular is about income tax. There is also sales tax, there is property tax, there is value-added tax, and there is excess tax. But maybe you can say that broadly, you can say that there are two major types, the direct and the indirect tax. This tax that we're talking about, if it is collected, the money is collected, it is for purposes of infrastructure development, for purposes of education, for purposes of healthcare, for purposes of national defense and security, and also for purposes of social welfare programs within the economy. So that's about basically about taxation. Then if you are talking about corporate governance is a collection of rules, processes, and practices that direct and manage organizations. We're talking about things like the board structure and practices. We're talking about things like audit committee. We're talking about things like risk management. We're talking about transparency and disclosure. We're talking about shareholder rights. We're talking about stakeholders engagement. We're talking about ethical conduct. We're talking about internal controls within organizations. We're talking about oversight and monitoring. We're talking about compliance with rules and regulations. We're talking about board evaluation and also the succession planning. So you find out that there is some level of relationship, therefore, between taxation and corporate governance. Because if the whole idea of corporate governance is that rules and regulations that directs and manage organizations, you find out that whatever is coming from that organization as part of revenue of the organization, the higher it is, the higher will be the volume of taxes that we can actually generate. So corporate governance plays a significant role in the kind of income that organizations can obtain. And that way, it also reflects on the volume of taxes that can be obtained from such organizations and individuals that also get their earnings from those organizations.
A very beautiful way to have this discussion, starting with the understanding of taxation and corporate governance. Thank you very much, Prof. I was about saying that I love that your composture now, because my people need to see the full face of my professor dishing it out as it is. We've laid the foundation. Ayo, can you take Prof to the next line as we move on the train?
Thank you very much. I'm going to the second question of the day. Prof, we have a tax revenue and social contract between government and Nigerian citizens, which is supposed to be a mutual for all levels of government at state, federal, and local government. I want to start as your assessment of corporate governance in tax revenue expenditure, and how can we attain full employment of tax expenditure in Nigeria?
Yes, like we have said before, you see, at the beginning, we said taxation is for purposes of redistribution of wealth. It is not expected that those that give in the highest will enjoy the better. What I mean is that it is not as you contribute, that is also the level of enjoyment of that tax revenue. But what we see in practice, however, is that you find out that majority of the time, it is the cities that get the highest from the distribution of these taxes that are collected by government. If you are talking about electricity, you find out that the cities get it better. If you are talking about water supply, the cities get it better. If you are talking about roads, the cities get it better. So, and it applies that it is also getting more revenues from those cities. We have also seen that government is not doing enough in areas of common investment, like issues of education, issues of healthcare, issues of roads and power. They are more interested in what goes to the leaders. You find out that instead of investing more of this tax revenue on matters that the common man and the rich man will enjoy, at the end of the day, the tax revenue, majority of it is also spent on those in governance. So again, unfortunately, it is not that is not the intent of taxation. That the intent of taxation is that you get more from the rich in order to provide for the generality of the people. So, but here you get more from the rich and you spend more on the well-to-do. So again, by that assessment, you find out that if you are looking at corporate governance in a manner that let us do things according to rules, according to regulations, then you find out that the taxes that are collected are not really distributed in the manner that they ought to be distributed for the common service, where a lot more should have gone to education. You find that our public schools currently are suffering because enough is not given to that. You'll find out that more schools, better things are done better in private schools than in public schools because the concentration of government is not in provision for these public schools. Government is spending in area that is not creating wealth. That's also another major problem. Instead of doing investment, government is actually spending in areas of consumption that more people are not employed as a result of earnings that are getting from these taxes that are collected from businesses and individuals. There is also the issue of accountability. Every day you hear that this much is stolen, this much is taken away, this much is not accounted for. So it gives the people the impression that we do not need to pay these taxes. Because if at the end of the day, we pay the taxes and it is not used for common good, why are we paying when some few individuals will be taking away the money? So what can we do? We can do a lot in terms of improving collection and improving collection mechanism that let the tax base be broadened. We can also do a lot in terms of control so that there will be a lot of accountability in terms of the expenditure. We can also spend more in productive areas that will generate employment so that people that are in that kind of employment can also pay the taxes. We can also spend more in areas that affect the generality of people, like education, health, power, roads. And most importantly, let us be transparent about it. Let us be accountable to the people that whatever we are generating, let people be so convinced that it is actually spent for the good of all. You remember this story during the governance in Lagos State, where women now go and say that we want to pay tax because they've seen what Fashola then was doing in Lagos. So those are the kind of things that once people are actually utilizing the taxes collected from people and businesses, you find out that people will be encouraged to pay the taxes.
Thank you very much, Prof. That's a very good submission when it comes to tax revenue and social contract. You've been able to identify some of the areas of improvement for the government, talked about investing more in education and things that can create wealth as against where some of those revenue are going in the hands of a few. I can collaborate with that. Majority of us that are currently speaking enjoy the largesse of attending public schools, but it's really not obtainable as we speak. And if you have to go by your submission of the three canons that you gave about taxation and revenue generation, redistributing the wealth That is where you give the opportunity for the masses that are really not privileged to have education at a minimal cost, of which you have actually alluded to. I proceed in the question, but before then, I want to state again that all our members are all welcome to the July edition of taxation, CITN taxation and you've been hearing the voice of our prof, Professor Muhammad Mainoma, MNI FCTI, giving us an insight into taxation and corporate governance in Nigeria, the current reality. If you look around and you've not seen your colleague joining us, tell them the train is moving and they need to be part of this insightful session put together by the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. I proceed, Prof. Currently, we all know that taxation has become the bedrock of any developing and emerging economy. And we all alluded to what the Federal Inland Revenue generated in last year, running to over 13 trillion, which is accounted for to be one of the highest. But we have this to say, in most of our discussion, you heard about tax revenue to GDP. This is what it should be. This is what not should be. But we add that as at last count, we've been able to move from about 8% to 10%. That is tax revenue to GDP, which we considered a significant improvement compared to previous year. Prof, I want you to enlighten our member. What is your view on this? Considering the fact that the economy on the other side is not improving, we have these imbalances. Most SMEs are actually suffering. Practitioners like you and I are not finding it funny. We have this imbalanced economy, and we are talking that the tax revenue to GDP is improving. What is your stake? What is your view about this as the current submission by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, it is when you are talking about tax revenue to GDP, it is a measure of country's tax revenue relative to gross domestic product. 10% as of today is commendable. If you take the history that from 6%, from 8% to 10%, there is improvement. However, the African average, the continent average, is about 16%. So you find out that we are still far away from where we ought to be. And what is responsible for that? And I want to believe that it is the issue of waivers. If we are going to reduce the way we are giving waivers to those that can afford the taxes, it is going to improve the ratio of tax to GDP. We also have the issue of low tax morale. If people are convinced that government is using this money the way it ought to do, you find that people would not be doing anything to avoid taxes. So the issue of low tax morale is also affecting our ability to be able to measure up to the continent average. There is also the issue of the fragmented tax system. It is also an issue that is also a problem, that you have so many taxes that you don't even know which one is, if it were to be consolidated and standardized. At the end of the day, you find out that more revenue can come in, and it will affect the ratio between tax revenue to GDP. And the monster is corruption. If at the point of collection, you have problem of people trying to take away some part of it, at the point of expenditure, you have people are trying to help themselves with part of it. At the end of the day, you find out that certainly the level of tax to GDP will be low. So I want to believe that if these major issues are addressed, we will have a better tax to GDP ratio that may be slightly above African average. As a country, we should be doing higher than the average of the continent because of our size, because of our level of consumption.
Thank you very much, Prof. On this, we should be doing better beyond the continent average of 16%. I believe very soon we'll get there if we can eliminate corruption and the likes. I want to digress a bit, Prof, and I want to touch on your professional and academic achievements. You are once a president of ANAN, and you are a prominent council member of CITN. During your period from both sides, you were able to initiate some bold decisions that now led to collaboration between CITN and ANAN. I want you to brief our member how you mooted this idea and how you were able to communicate this idea to both council member of the institute and the success story so far. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much. You see, the privilege I had actually was that at the same time, I was a member of council of CITN for about 12 years, and also member of ANAN Council for the same period. That I was sitting in council here, I was also sitting on council at the same time, continuously for about 12 years. So I during discussions, you'll find that there are certain things that are mutual. There are things that they can do together, and once they can do it together, it will make the things easier and better. So we therefore thought of the idea that there should be that MOU between CITN and ANAN, that they should be able to, those things that they can do together and make it better, they should be able to do it together. And also, they will also be looking at the practices of each other and see what they can borrow to make. So initially, the idea was, okay, let's define what we can do together and then be doing it. So reciprocal membership was the major issue. Accountants and tax practitioners, the level of training, there are a few things that you need to do to measure up. So if you are a member of CITN, what can you do to be a member of ANAN? If you are a member of ANAN, what can you do to be a member of CITN so that you can have the two? And the MOU specified those, and we started. Then when I became president, I realized that the information dissemination at the level of just the presidents and also maybe the presidency, it was not adequate. That there was the need to find a level where the two institutes can sit down together, all members of council sitting down together, discuss those things that they have done for the year and see what other things they can do for the coming year. And therefore, we mooted the idea of the retreat, that the two councils should sit down together 2 or 3 days, discuss what they will be able to do together, what were the challenges, and what they think they can do together going ahead. And that also provided us the opportunity to see all members of council to be together, to see themselves, to work together, and then the atmosphere become more complete. That there's nothing as if something is done that you as a member of council you are not aware of. All the issues, so that those in leadership coming in succession will understand the workings of that kind of collaboration. And that was why we felt that there was the need to have that kind of togetherness, so that nobody is left in doubt as to what is actually the motive, and where are we, where is the focus and what is the vision. And that was why we felt that there was a need to do that kind of retreat for council. And luckily, we have done it for about 3 years running. And I want to believe that it is giving us the kind of results we anticipated, that people get to understand the basis of the collaboration better, people tend to understand that there is the need for that kind of collaboration, and they bring in issues that can be discussed, and then together they forge ahead to see how they can do better accounting for purposes of taxation, and how they can do better taxation for purposes of raising more revenue so that the accountants can account for.
Thank you very much. And I'll take it from where you dropped it. We have to appreciate and acknowledge that good moves that you did there. And I know members are quite appreciative because it's been of tremendous help to allow the members to belong to both profession and even the sister bodies too. But I want to take you while I still on the lane where Ayo has taken us to in the area of collaboration of institutes that we have around. You are a financial person, a tax practitioner, an academician who are of great repute. And it has shown that professional bodies can coexist and collaborate without encroaching on respective charter. This is just a little thing you have said. ANAN is chartered. I know the other body, ICANN, is chartered. CITN is chartered. The issue of forensic is chartered. AFA is there. Everybody had their chartered body. How can every of these institute that we all belong to coexist and collaborate without encroaching on each other's chartered and still give the members those benefits that are actually giving them that impact to join that particular institute? Your take on this, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, the whole idea of professionalism is about specialization. And that is to say that you should have something that you are an expert, that you are doing it very well. So no matter, you should create a niche for yourself, that this is a small thing that I know very well. That makes you a professional. So it is that high level of expertise, ethics and standard, that makes you a professional. So if you are able to identify a small area and an area that is your own, you should just operate within that area. And any other thing, allow others to do it. And that way, there won't be any problem at all. There won't be issue of encroachment. There won't be issue that, in fact, you should, within the kind of things that you are doing, if it were possible, in taxation, for instance, you can say even you want to have people that are professionals in just international taxation. You should also see that if there are people that will only be more about consumption taxation, so that people will now focus and get themselves more equipped to deal with problems and challenges that are arising from that area. So to me, professionals should be thinking about professional development of the area. They should be thinking about responsibility that they have as professionals to ensure that they are doing it in the best of tradition. They should be bothered about accountability. They should be bothered about how they are able to communicate with those that are their clients. They should encourage a lot of teamwork, that those areas that they feel others have more expertise should be called upon to do those particular areas. They should be bothered about integrity of the profession. They should be bothered about the capacity of the individuals that are professing that profession. They should be bothered about adaptability, and also they should be bothered about lifelong learning. So in sum, you find out that there is no reason for crisis or chaos. There is no reason for any professional to say that he wants, once another body is chartered to do a particular thing, you should allow that particular body to do it. But we are not saying that should, even if those that are arguing against monopoly, let it be that you have another body that is trying to do the same thing that another body is doing, but in a particular passion that is different from that other body. There is nothing wrong with that. But to say that you want to do this and you want to do another thing, it is becoming like jack of all trade. And the saying goes, master of none. So, and a professional is supposed to be a master of something. And that is why we feel people should just concentrate on the kind of mandate that their charter has been given to them and remain within that parameters.
Thank you very much, Prof. You've spoken so much on the area of collaboration without, encroaching, and you speak more on being professional and be able to specialize, at least to have a proper perspective. Ayo, your next take for Prof, so that we can open the phone for our members to have Prof 1 or 2 questions.
Yes, thank you very much. From my side, Prof, the presidential committee set up by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the fiscal policy and tax reform will soon send in their report. I know that you are one of the people that contributed from CITN side to that committee. I want to ask, one key area of interest is the harmonization of our taxes from almost 30-something to 10 or 7 has been proposed by the committee. My take here is, did you foresee any challenges with taking Nigeria into context for the implementation of this harmonization, particularly at state level?
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, changes always come with challenges. Anytime that there is going to be a change, definitely there is going to be challenges. And it is also very important that the volume of taxes that are being here and there is good to standardize them. It's good to find a way of reducing the number so that people will be comfortable at one point to just pay all the taxes that they are supposed to pay. It makes a lot of sense. But whether there will be challenges, yes, there's certainly going to be challenges because at the end of the day, if someone is used to collecting certain taxes and you say, no, you should not collect those taxes, it is expected that there will be an arrangement where the taxes being collected will be distributed. You'll find that if you take the VAT, for instance, there is no problem because once it is collected, it is shared among the tiers of government. And it appears if you are asking the states or the local government to go and do sales tax and collect on their own, they may not even be receiving as much as they are now collecting from the VAT allocation. So it makes a lot of sense. But you need to actually respect boundaries. That once the law says that this is so, then you must find a way of getting them the buy-in of those that are responsible to allow another agency to do it for them before that. So that respect for boundary is very important. There is also the need for full education and disclosure. Let people know that I know that you are the ones that are supposed to do this, but it is more economical for us to do it centrally so that we then get it redistributed. There is also the need to have let the focus be sharp. That the whole idea is that we are trying to ensure economy of collection, we are trying to ensure efficiency, we are trying to ensure effectiveness in terms of utilization. So let the focus be very clear, and let it be that there is objectivity, because it does not make sense for a state, for instance, that you have taken away their responsibility to collect taxes, and there are people that are in that employment are now becoming redundant. You are now bringing all your people from one section to do the collection. So you find that that level of objectivity should be there. That yes, you have taken over the responsibility of those that are supposed to collect this money or these taxes. What do you do in terms of recruitment for the people that are going to do in the new arrangement? Let it reflect the number of people that are going to be displaced as a result of this new arrangement. There is also the need to look at the reasoning that whatever you are going to do, let it be that you can explain that it is not as if once you create doubt in the minds of people, it stays permanently. There is very little that you can do to erase that kind of doubt that that these people, their motive is different. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
The management of it. The management of it is also very important. That at the end of the day, when there is collection from fewer, how you are going to distribute it is also should also be something that is agreed upon ab initio before the money is collected. Once you try to manage it after the money is on ground, you will have problem because people will see that they are being shortchanged. But if there is an agreement at the very beginning as part of management process, before the money is realized, it is easier for people to accept that, okay, whatever is coming as a result of this formula, it is acceptable to the people. Most importantly, the sincerity of purpose. Let it be that the government at the center is doing this and is carrying people along, and that there is no any ulterior motive except to make it more effective and more efficient, and that the more money is going to come, and let everybody see that he is getting better than what he should have done as individual. Let the whole be truly greater than the sum of his parts.
That's a great submission, and I think I allude to the fact which the presidential task force under the leadership of Taiwo Oyedele is working on streamlining the number of taxes, at least to single digit. And I think you gave a reasonable fact to say trust plays a key role, transparency, accountability on the part of sharing some of these revenue, and above all, agree before the money is collected, not sharing when the money is being collected and some failed having the feeling they are being shortchanged. If you are just joining us, it's been a very insightful time with our prof, a member of the governing council of our great institute, CITN, and the Vice Chancellor for Prime University in Abuja. And he's been talking to us on taxation and corporate governance in Nigeria, the current reality. Prof, the next few minutes, I want to give our audience the privilege to ask maybe one or two questions, because it's always an interactive session before we bring the program to a close. So please, I want to go to the chat room. Can you drop your question so that we can pick it up and give it straight to our prof? I have Engineer Kabir. Engineer Kabir is raising up his hands. Can we unmute so that we can have his question? Engineer Kabir, please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. Great to have you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate Chartered Institute of Taxation for this great opportunity. and for this, and to the Prof for his educating and enlightening lecture. Thank you. May Almighty God bless you, Prof. My question is, Prof, I wanted to hear your opinion or your professional opinion on this aspect of taxation, which I noticed in Nigeria, we are not giving it much thought. This aspect of tax expenditure. I get to learn that the government normally do expenditure in two ways, either through budget expenditure or through tax expenditure. For example, last year when President Muhammad Buhari some years ago introduced tax credit schemes, whereby some corporate organizations were given tax incentive, such as tax holidays, tax waivers, and a lot of other things. And in return, they construct a road like Dangote, which I quite alright see in Kaduna, where instead of paying tax for some years, he uses that tax to construct some roads in the northern Nigeria. And this type of expenditure, what they term tax expenditure, I want to know whether in Nigeria we have a legal framework for regulating these tax expenditures. Because to me, I see them more of a kind of revenue leaks to the government. Instead of government collecting this tax and then through budgeting, expend them, carry out this project, they rather allow some of these corporate organizations to do them. And to do them, which at a time, sometimes it may not be that effective. So I want to ask whether if in Nigeria there is any legal framework that allow tax expenditure in Nigeria. Then my
Thank you very much, Engineer Kabir. Because of time, I'll have to interject here. I'm sure Prof has taken that question. And pardon me, Engineer Kabir, I will invite Prof to give response. But please help me note it, Prof, the question, so that we can take it all together and you can respond to them.
Okay, I've noted. It's noted.
Okay, can we have Samson Ajibade ask your question briefly, please? Unmute yourself and ask your question, Samson Ajibade.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you are live. You are live.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, my question is on the area of this collaboration from CITN and ANA, in which that ANA can give direct membership to members of CITN and CITN can give direct membership to ANA. My concern is on the area of the background of some members of CITN that maybe they are lawyers. We do not have accounting background. Would that direct membership actually be able to favor that kind of set of people who do not actually have that rigorous training for accounting or calculating aspects, while for not giving them direct membership? They are not going through a training. Otherwise, that's my own concern. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure Prof will do justice to that on some of the steps that those that are non-financial members of CITN, what are the steps that Anan, being a past president, I know you have a deep knowledge. I don't know if you have any question in the chat room before I open the floor to Prof. Prof, for now, no question in the chat room. You can do justice to those two questions.
Yes, thank you very much. On the first by Engineer Kabir, it is very simple arrangement that instead of you paying, wait, you do your business before you pay taxes. Invest in certain place, and whatever the amount of money you have spent, we will now agree to knock it off the taxes you are going to pay in the coming years. I don't think it is as complicated as Kabir is painting it. That all that they're trying to do is that, see, currently government is handicapped. We don't have enough to budget to do this road. Come and construct this road. We agree on amount that is supposed to actually take to construct the road. The constructing road from Kaduna to Abuja, it is going to take 30 billion. Dangote, come and do it. From the taxes that you are going to pay, we'll knock out this 30 billion from the taxes you are going to pay in the future. As simple as that. And I think it has a framework that has been well thought out, and the companies are coming into it to agree. It is paying before the time. It's kind of prepayment that they do of the taxes that they ought to pay. Then when they do the road, the amount that they use to do the road will now be deducted from the taxes that are supposed to pay to government. And I don't think that it is something that is commendable. Instead of waiting until the next 3 years before they do the road, when government has sufficient funds, if the company can come and do it, and then its taxes for the next 2-3 years will be deducted from in order to settle the amount of that you are supposed to. It is like government is giving them contract to construct the road, and then they will pay using the proceeds of the taxes that are going to pay in the future. So I don't think that there is much complications in that. On the second by Ajibade, actually, the terms of engagement is very clear on those that do not have financial background. It is only those that have financial background that enjoy that. When you are an accountant and you are in CITN first before becoming an member, then you will, after a period of because you are doing accounting services, you will now be joining ANAN after a year. ANAN can give you membership after induction, training, and all that. You can join ANAN. And also, if you are an ANAN member and you have the background and you are working in a tax-related field at least for 1 year, then CITN will also admit you as member of CITN after the training and the induction that you ought to do as a CITN member. So for lawyers, for instance, they cannot aspire to be members of ANAN because they are members of CITN. Because they do not actually have the requisite background to do accounting matters. For economists that are members of CITN, they have an arrangement in ANAN that they do what is called conversion before they can then be given membership of ANAN. And that has been specified in the memorandum of understanding, that people know exactly what they will do if they are joining the order from the other organization.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that insight and doing justice to this. My technical, Latif Folusho is asking a question. Can you please scroll down? Ayo, can we have what Latif is asking?
Okay. Latif, Latif is saying, good morning, Prof. And you are the coordinator in streamlining the taxes in Nigeria. Are we trying to tackle the various or multiple taxes, which is the main issues? Also, is it not to affect revenue basis of government negatively? That is from Latif Olonsho, Prof.
You see, the issue of multiple collections is coming with cost. And also the issue of multiple collections is coming with idea of avoidance that comes along with it. And it also creates some level of, you find that people are not as open to expose all the areas of their income. But if you have streamlined situation where collection is standardized and you just pay one tax at a point and it takes care of all, you may find that at the end of the day, you get higher revenue that then can be shared to the different areas that are supposed to get the collection. So it is not the number of taxes that makes sense. Let me give you example. If you have a place where people are looking for sadaqah, and they are giving 5 naira, 10 naira, 10 naira, and you have an institution that is collecting donation on behalf of the orphans, you find out that somebody may drop 1 million that you can take care of the orphans. But if the orphans go on the street, there is no way this person is going to give them 1 million naira. But if they have a place that somebody is managing and is soliciting on their behalf, you'll find out that people will be willing to make considerable contribution than to say that these people, the orphans, go on the street to be begging for. Even you, if you are going to give contribution to an organized setting, you may be given more money than to give sadaqah to these individuals, almajire on the street. So, and that is the idea. Once government has a formation that is going to say, look, let us assess you completely and get one payment, it is easier that way than to say that let this one come and ask for his one, this one come and ask for his one, this one come and the total cost of collection is going to reduce the total revenue that is going to. And because some other collections will be so insignificant that going for it, you may spend more money than the amount you are going to realize. So you forget about it. But if there is a central pool that is going to do the collection, you find that however insignificant, it will go into the vault. And that is the idea. That at the end of the day, once it is practiced the way we say it should be done, you find out that you may have more money than what is collected from individual sources that are grossly inadequate.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that insight. One thing I've observed most of the time is not always our friend. I have the privilege to have our 16th president joining us on this program. Our president is a man that has passion for knowledge and is always there all the time to make sure that we do it right and give the quality stuff that is expected. Before I give get your parting shot, sir, I think I want to have a word from my president. My president, can you speak to your members before we bring this program to a close? There seems to be a slight network glitch. I know my president is not.
He's still talking.
Oh, a slight network glitch from the president's side. And I would have loved to hear his words. My president, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. I've just thanked the Professor Manuma for coming on board and for enlightening us. It's been a good moment that we have shared together. We will keep on learning and we keep on adding value to our members. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's always good to hear the voice of the #1 citizen of our great institute, Mr. Samuel Agbelui, MNI, FCTI. You see, when you call MNI congratulating MNI, a great one. Prof, in 30 seconds, your parting shot.
Thank you very much. I would say that we should do everything to support the institute. And basic ways is to make sure that we make our financial support and also participate in programs. We should improve ourselves. There is nothing more than capacity development. You can only be a professional if you can profess something. So ensure that there is something that you are saying that you are learning every day. It is also very important that you obey rules and regulations because there cannot be a professional without ethics. So it is most important that we should be ethical in our conduct. And ours is something that has to do with money. So anything that you can do to go out with your integrity, please do it. Thank you very much.
You've heard the word from our prof, Professor Mahmoud Muhammadu, my NOMA, MNI, FCTI. As he had dished it out on CITN taxation and you, take on to the word of elders. It's a great advice that you try as much as possible to be transparent and be ethical in all you have done. It's been a quality session with us at the studio, our CITN headquarters in Alavusa, Ikeja, with my co-anchor, Dr. Ayodeji Adeyemi. Until we see you next month, we have another insightful topic that you will not want to miss. Watch out for the promotion of this. Till we meet you in August, we remain your host, Olusesan Okwade. Bye for now.